It's Friday, March 8th. Good morning. It's 5:30 a.m. and we're off to the Great White North. Just leaving Elmont. This movie is really about the road conditions from Swisha to Grand Chute on the Dumoine River. It compares traveling up there March of 24 versus compared to March of 23. The road all the way up to the kilometer 13 junction has been clean and green. It's got a fresh layer of sand on top and it's solid this morning. Here we are at kilometer 13. Don't know why these trucks are here. Looks like we got some company. Putting it down in four-wheel drive. This here looks good. Let's just see how far we can go. It is solid ice today. I just don't know how thick it is and how far it's going to stay this way. We're supposed to get rain on the weekend, and that could make it nasty. Let's just keep going. The snow is hard packed. We're not even making a dent in it. And this is the big hill. Oh, really icy there. About 30 kilometers, 27 kilometers an hour. So doing just fine. Really icy there. We're just riding right on top of the ice. We're not breaking through. -3 degrees. That's probably one of the biggest hills up we have. This hill is solid ice. It's gonna be all wet and slimy. I think I'm gonna have to drop the ATV and trailer off and come right back again before it gets too hot. Where there's a river going, a creek going across the road, and it's just all froze right over. Coming up on Grand Chute. Stopped at the spring for water, and everything has been froze right over, hard pack. Drove the truck all the way in. Now I'm going to unload and get the truck back out of here because it's supposed to rain and ice maybe over the weekend, and then warm up. So stay close. Real icy right here in the hill. There she is, Grand Chute. It's 10 o'clock and 0 degrees. It's warmed up 3 degrees in the last 2 hours. I'm heading back down with the truck and the trailer, and I'll bring the ATV back up alone. I suspect that by noon, this is going to be a little mushier. And so I don't want to take any chances. It's also supposed to rain, and maybe freezing rain over the weekend. Talked to a snowmobiler. He came up from Swisha. He says, yeah, the trail here is good. It's hard, and it's not good for the engine. No, you're not getting enough snow and stuff to cool the engine down. So Daryl was his name. He stopped at Grand Chute just to cool the engine down, and there were a couple other side-by-sides go by. They looked like they were heading out, and here we are doing our first big hill, and see what this is going to be like. Oh, not a problem. So what, doing 32 kilometers at the top of the hill, ain't too bad. Kilometer 25. It's getting warm out. When you touch metal or snow, of course it's cold, But other than that, it's a beautiful day for like walking this trail with grippers. You don't need snowshoes, you don't need skis. In fact, skis would be slippery on the ice. So wouldn't recommend that. But this trail, the base of it is exactly like it was in April of, or March of last year, March 1st last year, where the trail was good and hard and you could walk on it or ski on it. A little more icy, and it's not as deep this year. There's only like a couple inches of snow on the roof of the cabin, whereas last year there was 3 to 4 feet on top of it. But you know, the dirt only showed through in a couple of spots like that one. So 4 dry spots in all on the whole trip, and this is a big hill. Gotta go. There are some big ruts at kilometer 17 and icy patches, and we went over the creek. You can see there's a side-by-side or something, put some pretty big ruts in there. So that's the reason why I'm taking the truck out now. I don't want to be doing that. And maybe deeper. Nope, big hill, up we go. My gosh, I'm starting to feel like an ice road trucker. I remember walking these pulling a sled. They don't seem very big today. When you get out and walk up a kilometer-long grade, it gets to you real quick. My buddy Bobber, and he did not enjoy these hills. At least with my skis on my sled, I got to ride down most of these hills on the sled, like a dog sled. Whereas Bob was pulling one of those toboggans with all the gear on it and walked up and down both sides. Just in case you're wondering, we got the Michelin Ice highway snow tires on. Made for running on ice. Couldn't have chosen a better set of tires for today's run. And how do you know we're at kilometer 13? That's the end of the groomed snowmobile trail. And I was just talking to Darren again, and he said that there's really only about 4 inches of solid ice base here. So yeah, after the rain and the ice, who knows? The rabbit trail, as he called it, which is the snowmobile trail from the first bridge out of Swisha back a ways, he said that's got bald spots and rocks on it everywhere, so he wouldn't recommend that. Here it is, 10 o'clock. Man, this is one nice trail to be walking right now. It is hard packed. You're now sinking in 1/4 of an inch, but standing right on top of the snow. And it's not that deep. In fact, there. You can see it is not that deep. So there might be 4 inches, 6 inches at most on the snowmobile pack trail. And in the bush, there's a little bit of snow. The lakes that aren't moving are solid ice still. I don't know if you want to walk on them, but they're covered in ice. And it sure is pretty. This would be one grand maple syrup making day. Anyways, I'm now on the ATV, heading back to Grand Chute cabin. I could still run the truck on this, but you can see it's not ice anymore. It's starting to, the crystal on top is starting to shift around. Peter was warning me that the ZEC may not want me in because the ruts created in the mud. Well, you can see there are ruts created in the snow, in the snowmobile trail, and that's why the snowmobilers don't want you on this in the wintertime. But you know, that's just somebody spinning their tires. If you just drive a little slower, it's just fine. And you can just ride on top of it instead of chewing it all up. So let's go for a ride. Oh, this is all ice. Hold on to your hat. At least it's not wet. Going up that one after some rain or get a little wet. Maybe even a couple more hours. Might be a little more challenging. But right now it's just solid ice. Well, we got back up the Grand Chute, fired up the wood stove, warmed things up a bit, and decided to take a little hike down the Grand Chute Tote Road Trail, Canyon Trail, and just a beautiful day. Sun's out, warming up nice, river's flowing, everything looks grand. Out on the road, you can see the moose tracks, and they're all melting away. Moving on down the next day, I wanted to go down to see the Fil de Grand, and this is the marshy cut, which has always got erosion and water. The marsh is totally frozen. This is Stevens Pond, and again, just so beautiful. I love coming in the early spring. This is Mike's trail, and you can see the only thing that's gone up and down that is moose right now. The Fil de Grand Road Bridge, absolutely gorgeous. ATV'd all the way down to the Fil de Grand Bertrand camp. Cabin's in really good shape. Is it ever inviting? Rustic, clean, really nice. The Fil de Grand River is open there. Next day I took a ATV ride up. I wanted to find a different route to get to the Fil de Grand Bridge, and it ended up about 35 kilometers north in Paradis, which is awful nice. That's 6 Mile Lake, and it was totally frozen. So very cool. And after vetting the Grand Chute manual, I headed back, and you can see how much of the ice is off of the bridge.